Hello. Yeah, hi. Good afternoon. I'm going to share with you this presentation, and this presentation is around how the GSTN system works. It will also explain the company profile, and also it will explain you about the function of GST. So let's go one by one, and after this meeting, whatever the input you have got, you can mail it to us. We'll able to reply you. So let's start. Let's start the okay. So if you see here, okay. Now we are if you this is the presentation, probably all of you can take up with your customer and your partners, and this explain the total subject. So we are basically Sugal and Damani group. We are a $2 billion company, and our businesses are in payment services, skill gaming, ITS, education, offshore application development, etc. We started in 1991, and basically uh, we are into online transaction processing. As you can see here, this OLTP, this is something which is very important for us. This we started since 2003, and today we are almost doing 15 million transactions per day. Now this 15 million transaction per day gives us the uh, eligibility to handle the business which we are pursuing. So around in 2003 we started the IT infrastructure business, and since then we are consistently doing this business in India. If you have you might have observed that this number of transactions are what we are currently handling. They are I think if you see the NAC transaction, after NAC transaction, this is the one of the largest transaction which is being handled by any Indian company in India. As a part of our business, we have got a nationwide presence. Almost we are there in every state. You can see 23 states, 630 cities, and the biggest advantage what we carry, that we are in almost 80,000 villages. And this business we are catering through our 1500 distributors and almost 10,000 retailers. This is exactly what is helping us to cater 10 million user base in India. Now, as you know that GSTN, one of the biggest government of India program is the tax reform, and in the tax reform system, there is a GST which has been launched by government of India. Now, this GST is a combination of VAT, that means this VAT and sales tax will basically go out. VAT, service tax, and excise, if this will be merged, and from July 1, every customer has to file return for GSTN. Now this GSTN is an organization which has been formed by is a SPV which is formed by Government of India and 5-6 organizations like ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank together, and they are the custodian of tax system. Now this tax system program is being developed by Infosys, and for last 2 years they are already developing this program. And today, if you see here, that they almost in November they floated the inquiry of GSP. The GSP inquiry was been attended by almost 300 companies, and out of 300 companies, 34 companies were selected as a GSP. Now GSP, if you see why GSP, one of the very important question is that why GSP? Probably in my next slide I'll explain you, but GSP is basically GSTN Suvidha Provider. Now, as a GSP, we have got two companies, as you can see here. One is that Filegst, which is Skill Lotto Solutions Private Limited, and then PayworldGSP, which is Sugal and Damani Utility Services Private Limited. These two companies have been qualified as a GSP through a rigorous selection procedures by the GSTN. As a GSP, we are going to service the end taxpayer with a bouquet of services like return filing, reconciliation, integration of input tax credit, TDS, e-signing, challan generation, historical data analysis, and several functions. Now, taxpayer can directly avail these services even or even the intermediaries like application service provider like ASP, chartered accountants, financial accountant, tax advocate, and tax return preparers. These are the people who are currently working as an intermediary and they basically file on behalf of their own client. And this is the phenomena which is there almost for 90% of the cases. In 90% of the cases, the customer don't file themselves, they do the filing through these people. And in our product, they can directly come and work as a intermediaries. Another big advantage what we are offering is the single window interface for its tax return functions. That means everything which is related required for the tax filing, we are giving as a single window function. Now, if you see here, this GST is a breakthrough initiative which is being tried by Government of India for last 10 years, and now this is the time when this GST system is going to get implemented. This the advantage of GST is, you know, if you see the VAT or a sales tax regime, in that regime the biggest disadvantage was that it was tax over tax. That means when you pay tax, then in sales tax and VAT you have to pay the tax over tax. That means there is a multiple tax was getting added into the network, into the whole chain, and which was creating a business efficiency issue in Indian industry. So now with this GSTN coming, you will see there is a no tax over tax. That means it is a tax at the point of consumption. You consume, you pay tax. You consume, you pay tax. And this is basically the advantage, a key advantage of GST. So this is going to create a very big advantage for Indian businessman as you go along. Now, as I said that all sort of indirect taxes like which is been added into this service tax, VAT and excise, custom duty, export duty, and some of the local sales tax, they are not included at this moment. They will be included in certain point of time. Now GST, it is expected, as certain experience at certain experts have already indicated, if the GST is implemented properly, it is going to add the GDP by 2%. It is going to add value by 2%. Now, as you can see, if there is a GST, what is the advantage? What is the advantage to trade? What is the advantage to customer, end consumer? To trade, you can see it is basically multiplicity of tax is not there. Double taxation is removed. Efficiency is been created. It's a single market. What we call it, one nation, one tax. It's a single tax regime, one tax across the country. There are rates which are currently 4 or 5 tax rate has been fixed, but as you go along, this will also be simplified. But to start with, 5 level of taxes has been introduced. Now, another very important thing which has been brought here is that the goods are treated as a goods and service are treated as a service, and they have been merged together. So with this, the trade will have a major benefit if this GSTN is implemented. Now to consumer, end consumer, what is the advantage? You can see, you could have seen the news even today that lot of commodity, the prices will reduce by implementation of GST, because the rates earlier between 26 to 32% of the rates were being charged. Now with this system coming, there are most of the 80 to 85% of the rates which has been charged are at 18%. That means there is an advantage of 7 to 8% in majority of the item which will have less tax. And as you see, there will be a uniform pricing because the tax is a single tax. Across the country, the pricing will be uniform. There is a lot of transparency which will come. I mean, today, if you see the tax system, it is very complicated. If you people who are handling excise, I mean, they have got a nightmares. Now with GST coming, it is a simple system, and the most important part is that it is transparent. Everything what you want to know, everything will be transparent. Everything will be on the system. You will be able to see all the reports, all the performance on the system. And the lastly, with GST coming, there will be lot of employment generation activity will happen, and it will create employment for the people like accountants. They are the people who who will be employed by many companies with GST coming. And you might have seen the news saying that there are a lot of HR consulting companies are predicting there will be huge employment in opportunity which are getting created. Now, you need to also understand what is GSP and what is ASP. As you know, we are the GSP. Now, as a GSP, what we are supposed to do? GSP, our key activity is that we are an intermediate between GSTN and the taxpayer. When we say intermediate, the question is that why do you need intermediate? See, there is a data which says there are 80 lakhs in 80 lakhs customer from July need to file tax. 80 lakhs customer, please understand. Second important thing is that every taxpayer has to pay tax monthly, every month. Third thing is that the whole tax system, every month he has to file 3 to 4 steps into 3 to 4 steps. That may, and the lastly, it is estimated there are 300 million invoices which will be required, which will be loaded on the system. That means it's a huge system. If this is the system which is of such a huge system, now the question is that now how do we, who will, is GSTN will be able to handle this independently? The answer is no. Alone GSTN cannot do it. That's why they have appointed GSP. There are 34 GSPs who are there, and these GSPs are going to share the loads of the GSTN. That is why GSP is required. So GSP is basically going to interface the taxpayer, and they will handle the data of customer to the GSTN. The another important thing what you need to also remember is that there is another layer called ASP. Now, who is ASP? ASP is called application service provider. Application service provider are the people who have got their own accounting package. Now, you see, when you talk about the invoice, basically you need to file invoice. Now invoice are created out of accounting package, or invoices are created manually. If the invoices are to be created out of accounting package, then there are lot of accounting package which are there in the market, which is being created by different companies. Now these accounting package also need to participate into this whole GSTN system. So these accounting packages are generally known as ASP. They are the application service provider. That means they can integrate the GST function into their accounting package, and from their accounting package they can send the data to GSTN. So as a company, we are as a company, we are going to integrate the ASP, and we help the ASP to create the value system. So this is the advantage of, this is the definition of ASP and GSP. Now let's come to the next portion. Now it is very important for all of us to understand that what is the impact of the business. When any company like your client company, when your client companies are going to handle the GST, what are the care they should take care in their system. This is very important, that every taxpayer, every CA, every accountant, every tax advocate need to understand. So first and important thing is that only company who has got turnover, annual turnover of 20 lakhs and more, they are the only people who have to file the GST. Less than 20 lakhs, you need not to file GST. In certain states or in Northeast or Sikkim, etc., this limit has been reduced to 10 lakhs. So this is the first important point. Second thing is that when you are migrating or when you are putting the data into the system, you need to also remember that what kind of knowledge you should have about the GST. So the first and foremost thing, what is important here is that you need to understand about the invoices, that what is the kind of invoices you are handling. So there are different kind of invoices. As you can see here, there is something called B2B invoice. B2B invoice means you are a company and you are buying from some other company. Now there are two companies. The first company is in B2B, both this company, my company and my buyer from where I am buying, both the company, if they have got the GSTN number, that means both the companies are registered, then my invoice become B2B type of invoice. So in B2B type of invoice, my GSTN number and my supplier's GSTN number will get mentioned. So this is the first thing you need to understand. So all such invoices where both these entries are there, they will be categorized as a B2B invoice. The second thing is that there are something called B2C invoice. In B2C invoice, you can see there are two different category which has been mentioned. One is that interstate. If you are billing from Delhi to Bombay, then you are interstate. And if a per invoice value is more than 2.5 lakh, per invoice, single invoice value is more than 2.5 lakhs, then your invoice is categorized as B2CL. This invoice will come into the category of B2CL. And anything other than, like if you are doing from Delhi to Delhi, Bombay to Bombay, then you have to basically see that this comes into B2CS. Anything other than B2CL will be treated as a B2CS. Another very important thing which we need to remember, that debit note and credit note are also invoiced. In the last regime, debit note and credit note were not treated as an invoice. Another invoice you have to know is the export invoice. Then you have to, another category of invoice is nil rated invoice, exempt invoice, non-GST invoices. These are another invoice. Any advance tax which you are collecting from your party, then that every advance tax invoices is also treated as invoice. So these are the different 7 types of invoices which you need to remember, which you need to categorize. Another very important concept is the coding. Now when you are under invoice, you do item. Every invoice may have 5 items, 6 items. When you are handling item, GSTN expect the item must be codified. It has to have a coding. Now when you say coding, the coding is required, and this coding is called HSN code. HSN code, the people who are handling the export business, they know what is HSN code, because all customs which is cleared in India, they are as per the HSN code chapters. Now in HSN code, it is a 8-digit code, as you can see. Now basically, whenever you are putting items, your items need to be in this HSN category. So if your last year turnover is less than 1.5 crore, then the HSN code is not required. You need not to mention HSN code in your invoice which you are filing. But if your last year turnover is between 1.5 to 5 crore, then you have to use the first 2-digit chapter code into your item list. And if your turnover is more than 5 crore, then you have to give first 4-digit of HSN code. Now this and anything other than any other import export, you have to mention full 8-digit. So this is another area which you need to be careful. Now whatever I talked about invoices and HSN code, when you use our software has created an intelligence, or what is called rule engine and validation. In the rule engine and validation, we have also option to validate. We will able to identify what kind of invoices you are depositing. We will be able to also identify how do you handle the HSN code. So we will be able to explain you what is your invoice, where is the issue, if item does not have any code, and if it is coming into any category, it will help you to explain you that these are the possible HSN code you should use. This is a feature which we are building into our software. Then comes the earlier in the GST or VAT regime, you might have seen that we were doing tax, either is a VAT or it is a service tax. But when you come to GST, the tax is been renamed. They will be known as SGST, CGST, IGST and UTGST. SGST is nothing but a state tax. So whatever you talk about VAT. CGST is the central tax. IGST is the interstate tax, and UTGST is the tax which is there in the union territories. So every invoice, now you have to categorize the invoice amount as well as the tax amount into these 4 categories. Another very important concept which is being getting introduced is called transfer. Now all your branch transfer will attract GST. Another concept is called place of supply. That means from where you are billing. This is another field. It is codified. So you need to remember this point. Reverse charges is a concept which is being brought, which is being practiced, but now it will be rigorously followed, where reverse charges whatever the reverse charges in input which you need to provide, you need to mention reverse charges specifically. Now, as you know, why the GST is required? What is the advantage? I explain you that GST is basically will create a transparent regime. When you call about a transparent regime, that means everything will be on the system. You log into our system, you log into our portal, you will be able to see everything. But one of the very important concept what is there in the taxation system is called ITC. That means what is the credit you get? Ultimately, the whole taxation business is the credit business. Your credit management, if it is efficient, then you are an efficient system. So now this is ITC is another big subject, you know, how the ITC will be calculated, etc. But this ITC also you can see in our portal as a part of reconciliation, and also the ITC your reports will be generated on every month. You will able to also see the ITC report. In my other pages I'll explain you this. Another very important concept which has been added is called e-way bill. Now e-way bill, you have to clearly understand that this is basically used by the transporters. Whenever you are transporting goods from A point to B point, your transporter should carry this e-way bill with them. So this is another concept which you need to remember. So these are the few nuggets which you need to be careful. You need to understand. You should know while you are handling the or while you are filing the GST. Now let's come to our business. Now, as I told you that we are a GST. We are a GSP. You see here, this is the GSP. This is the GSTN. So we are a company between GSTN and this is the client. This is the 4 client situation. This is my portal. This is the GSP and this is the GSTN. So we have launched 4 products. The first product will be called taxpayer product. Second product will be called tax practitioner product. Third product will be called ASP, third party ASP product. And fourth product will be called GSP pass-through product. Now, to be very too concise to explain you what does it mean. Now you see the taxpayer, like if you are a taxpayer, you want to file tax. What do you do? Come to our portal, log in and file the tax. Very simple. You see here, portal, log in and file tax. The second is that, as I told you earlier, that 80 to 85% of our people, they don't file themselves. There are aggregation company or intermediaries who file the tax on their behalf. So when you say when they file on their behalf, so these are, suppose there is a CA here and he is filing for 10 clients. So he will basically use our module called tax practitioner. In the tax practitioner module, I will link all these 10 people to the CA. And once it is linked, then the CA will be able to file one by one on our portal on their taxpayers' behalf. So this is the module you see how the tax will be go to GSTN. So that is called tax practitioner module. Primarily it will be used by the CA or aggregators. The third, these are the two you can see it is happening through our portal, and our portal is www.payworldgsp.com or www.filegst.co.in. So whenever you log in onto this portal, this is the portal, and once you are in portal, this portal is connected to our gateway which is called sandbox, and on this gateway, through this gateway, you will be able to file. This is where we have hugely invested. Now there are other two models. One is called pass-through and other is called ASP third party. Now what is pass-through? If you are an intelligent customer, see ultimately what you need. See, GSTN need a data into GSTN format. Now when we say GSTN format, and if you are a customer or if you are a client or if you are a ASP, if you are a CA and you know how to make or convert the data, your data into the GSTN format, then you directly send that format through us to GSTN. That is called pass-through, where you have to create the data in the GSTN format and use our gateway or a sandbox and transmit it to GSTN. But think about a situation where I have a application, accounting application. Say for example, Solver. Now Solver is an accounting package, and Solver's client want to file the tax. How they will do? I will basically create an integration. I will create a integration software, and that integration software I will integrate into the Solver, into the ASP software. So once it is integrated, then what will happen? The ASP from its own software will be able to send the data to GSTN through our sandbox, through our gateway. So this is called ASP third party module. This could be accounting package, this could be tax consultant, this could be anybody. This could be web portal. I mean, I can pick up the data from web portal and take the data. Here the advantage is that you need not to know what is the format that GSTN will need. Format with GSTN will need. GSTN will need the format and we will convert automatically into this format. So these are the four model of services we are offering to our customer: taxpayer, tax practitioner, ASP third party, and GSP pass-through. So this is about our services. So typically you see here what we have done, we have explained you the same thing. So I am not repeating this again. Now let's come to if you want to return, if you want to do the GST return, what is the step? Step 1, step 2, step 3. How do you file? So first thing is that you have to create what is called data. So whatever is your data will be either in Excel, CSV, XML, or it will come from ERP like SAP, Oracle, or it will come from accounting package of like say Tally or anywhere. The data, you have to first get the data. Once you have got the data, you basically bring the data to our portal at a ledger level. Once you bring the data, what we will do, we will create the rule engine. We will do the validation and we will correct the data as per GSTN format. Once the GSTN format is been done, then your data is ready to be sent to GSTN. So once your data is correct, then do the save. Save onto GSTN network, save onto GSTN file, and you can save multiple times. As many times you want to save, you can save the data. Once the data is saved, so on 10th of every month, as you can see in our next video, next slide, on the final date, you need to do a submit. Once the submitted, data cannot be changed. But if it is saved and not submitted, you can change the data. You can edit the data. You can do anything on the data. But once you have submitted, data cannot be changed. Once you have submitted, then you do the signing. You have to digitally sign your document. That is either through e-sign or through your DSC dongle. Once you sign the document, you just do the file. File the document. That's all. It is very simple. It is a very easy to handle the GST return. And once you have done, you can see the summary and you can verify all those things you can do in our portal. For GSTR2, you need to get the data. It is not sending the data. You have to get the data, you have to match it, you have to reconcile it, and then file it. That is the GSTR2. And similarly, GSTR1A, which I'll explain into next slide. And once everything is okay, you file GSTR3. And once you file the GSTR3, a challan will be generated. And with this challan, you will be able to pay the tax, and this is the GSTN return process. Now let's go to concept. So this is where I have explained you what is GSTR1, what is GSTR2, what is GSTR1A, what is GSTR3. Now let us see this through illustration. So let's come to GSTR1. Now GSTR1 illustration, as you can see here, this is me, my company. I want to file. Okay, so I explained you different type of invoices: B2B, B2CS, B2CL, debit note. So these invoices I have to submit on 10th of every month for the previous month through my portal, and from my portal it will go to my sandbox or gateway, and then it will go to GSTN. So you can see these invoices you have to file it. These are sales invoices. The sales invoices we are filing onto GSTN by every 10th of every month. So this is called GSTR1. Very simple. Similarly, you have to also remember, I have bought the material from somebody. So now that guy from where I have bought, he is also going to file his return, his sales invoices into the system. So my company and my seller company, both the people are filing the return GSTR1 onto the system. So if both are registered, then this is B2B. If if both are registered, then this is B2B. If this guy is unregistered, then it is B2C. So this is the difference between B2B, B2C and GSTR1. Then comes GSTR2. Now let's see what is GSTR2. GSTR2 is what? GSTR2 is the purchase return. Purchase return, inward purchase return. So as you can see, I marked the number 1, 2, 3. Follow this method and you will be able to file. So how it is? First of all, you have to get your purchase entries from GSTN. Whatever the purchase entry is there, you get it. This is step 1 called GSTR2A. See here, we are getting the purchase return. This will be GSTR2A. Then step 2, you have got your own purchase ledger, or what we call it, purchase book. So you have got the purchase book, bring it to your ledger entry into our application, into our portal. So you have got 2A entry come, you have got purchase book entry come. Now we do a matching, what we call it reconciliation. So both this data will be matched. So when this data will be matched, this situation will arise. Either I accept, either I reject, or I add, or I modify, or I new add, or I hold. This situation will come after you match. This is the reconciliation. Once you get this, okay, you do accept, reject, whatever you want to do after reconciliation. Once you have done, step 5 is that save it. Save this. then it is called save GSTR2. And this save GSTR2 happen on our portal, matching happen on our portal, and this is the sandbox through which it will go to GSTN. Now this activity you need to complete by 15th of every month for the previous month. So this is GSTR2. Now comes GSTR1A. Now you please understand this clearly. Now you see what we did. GSTR2 was there, purchase book was there, matching was done. Now assume purchase book you had entered say 100 invoices. So logically you should get 100 entries on GSTR2A. But now suppose you got 90 entries. So what will happen? Once you get the 19 entries, that means your seller from where you bought, he might have not have entered his own sales invoice. So you have got only 90. Now, whatever the data you did not get, that means if there is no purchase entry, then you add, and then you see in GSTR2 what we did, we have added those entry. Now whatever you have added those entry by 15 in GSTR2, you have saved as GSTR2. So based on the GSTR2 data which is gone to GSTN, the GSTN will send the messaging detail, the missing detail to my purchaser as GSTR1A for confirmation that if this missing information is okay, and if my seller accept, then I get the credit. So whatever the missing detail which goes by 17th of every month by GSTN, that is GSTR1A. So whatever is the missing purchase entry which I have filed on GSTR2 while saving, GSTN will basically notify to my seller as GSTR1A, and if my seller accept it, then I get credit. If it does not accept, I don't get credit. So logically the buyer or me, I will call those seller that boss, you have got the GSTR1 entry, please accept it such that I get the credit. So this is GSTR1A. And the final is that, so you have got what you have done, you have done GSTR1 data, you have got GSTR2 data, and now you will fill up certain information which is GSTR3 data. All this data, actually all this GSTR3 why I have written, but because there will be certain additional information which will be there. So all this data will basically you have to get as a auto populated data, which is step 1. Get all auto populated data from GSTN, GSTN, which is called data summary, which is called GSTR3. So you have to get the auto populated data from GSTN. Once you got the auto populated data, you check it, you validate it, and once you validate it, you file it. That means GSTR3 accepted. The moment you do the GSTR3 accept, the GSTN will create a challan, and based on the challan, please pay the tax. And once you have paid the tax, your GSTN process is over. And at the end of the month, 31st of this month, you will get all the mismatch summary by GSTN. So this is the summary of GSTN process. GSTN 1, 2, 3, 1A. So this is thus as simple, as easy as anybody can think of for the GSTN filing system. Now let us see what we are offering. This is very important. You have to understand there are 34 people, there are 34 GSP who are there. There are other companies who are there. But we are offering something very, very different to our customer. We are making sure that our customer get the best out of it. So what are the key feature we are providing? We are giving data upload facility. This is offline, online. Both are there. Both tools are there. Then we are giving a validation tool. You can validate your data. Then we are giving you rule engine. This rule engine will test the data from the GSTN rules, from the GSTN law, and it will help you to create a right data. Once the data is taken care of, we are also giving you a reconciliation module. In the reconciliation module, you can do a simulation of your match, mismatch, found, not found, all kind of a data, all kind of a uh, 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 invoices activity. So this reconciliation feature we are giving. Then we are giving you alerts and notification through email and SMS. Every critical action will be alerted. We will alert the taxpayer that these are the actions which are pending. You should take care. Then we are also keeping a 7-year data as a log. Whatever is happening, whatever the activity is being done, everything has been kept as a log with us, and this will be kept for 7 years. Any customer can see this data. Now, another very important thing what we are offering, that we are, safety is a very, very important, the data safety. So we are on cloud, and our cloud is one of the best cloud in the country, and this cloud is impregnable. आप break नहीं कर सकते. It is so secure, it is so safe. So the customer data is going into the safety locker. Our portal is SSL certified. SSL certified means it is, to the larger extent, hacker cannot hack the data. It is going through the wall of SSL. Then we are having nationwide reach. We will be available across the country. Wherever our customer will need us, we will be there. Our customer can reach us and file the data onto our network. We are giving local support. You need support, we will give you a support on how to file, how to take care of your data, how to see the data, and a basic training. We are also going to support on consultancy. You got stuck, no problem, just write to us. We will help you to understand those tidbits and nitty-gritty of this whole taxation system. And the last thing is that you have an assurance of Sugal and Damani group. We are $2 billion group. We are this industry since 2003. We are one of the biggest company. We are handling 15 million transactions per day. Who else is handling? We are giving the assurance of our group. We are telling you, I think you come to us, we will take care of you. So these are the few things which we are assuring you. This is a summary, what I explained you earlier. You can just go through the detail of summary, how, when you can take care of on the GSTN part. So you can always go through this. So this is all about what we have explained to you. I think you are welcome to write to us. You are welcome to connect to us. We are here to support you 24/7. We are here to create a business opportunity for you. We are here to create the employment and opportunity for the customers. We are here to create a transparent system along with the GSTN. And lastly, GSTN system is one of the biggest and activity which has been done anywhere in the world. The government of India is doing it. We are part of it, and we feel proud of it, and we believe that we will be able to successfully demonstrate our capability and successfully take care of our customers. Thank you very much.